Yeah. So, guys, thank you so much for being here. I couldn't be more excited. I was one of the guys that participated in the alpha test, and I was like having my ass kicked by those bots over there and trying to win some races, but I finally did it afterwards. So I
Mhm.
want to hear from you guys. Maybe we can start by introducing yourselves, and we talk a little bit more about the team that is behind that.
Yeah, absolutely. I'll have Samit and Craig kick it off, and then we'll keep going from there.
Yeah, I guess I will start. My name is Sumit Patel. I'm the head of product. Um, Getting an echo for some reason. Let me see if I can stop that. Hold on. Okay, let me see if it's better. Okay, yeah, I can hear myself. It's very odd. Yeah, so I'm the head of product. I'm heading up all the engineering as well as how the product is built, the algorithms, and just generally anything that needs to happen. Previously, my background has been in data science and starting different companies. So I used to work at FICO, the credit risk modeling system here in the US, and helped build that out. Then was an early employee at LinkedIn, one of the first people on the data science team, helped building out the recommendation systems there. And then more recently, launching a few companies in the marketing side. And then now with Exiled Racers, so super excited to be able to present all this to you guys. And I think you guys are going to like what you're going to see.
And thanks for me. My name is Craigson. I'm the lead blockchain developer on the project. Also have a background as a creative technologist. So I've worked on a variety of different types of projects in a different industry in the past, crypto and NFT projects as well. And I've mainly been focusing on the smart contract development for our ecosystem, and then also helping out just sort of everywhere else in terms of like web development and assisting with the metadata and just sort of anything related to the NFT collections. And also just really excited to be here and excited to show you guys and girls what we've been up to.
Awesome. Thanks, Craig. Tiago, I will say these guys grossly undersell themselves. I don't know how they do it, but they do it. So allow me. These guys, I've been in the industry for a long time. I ran my first blockchain, I guess, token sale RCO with a company called Status.im. I was running marketing there. In 2017, they raised about 100 million. Unfortunately, I was just a consultant, so I'm not going to make it because I didn't get what I needed to there. But yeah, I've been working in this space for a long time, and I met these guys over time just because, good people know good people. And I got to chatting with them and, phenomenally impressed by all the stuff they did and pitched them a concept very early on, probably almost a year now. And, they've got an incredible background, so it seemed like the perfect team. I also worked at Google prior to the last 2-3 years. I was working at Google for probably 9 or 10 years in product marketing, product and analytics. So been in the space for a while, and this concept came about because I'm really good friends and who also happen to be advisors of ours with individuals that are in the NFT space. I've been in the NFT space for a long time. I actually am still the highest count holder of the first NFT football trading card game DAO called Crypto Strikers or Rap Strikers now. So been in the space for a long time, and I'm just honestly so happy to be here and presenting to you guys. And luckily I was able to get these guys on board, as well as our art team, who isn't on right now. But you've never seen artists like this. I mean, I'm sure you guys have been following us. I'm still impressed every day. Last night I got a video demo from the team and some new alpha of racecrafts, which I'll be sharing with you soon. And I'm still floored every time I get this stuff, man. So yeah, I'm just really excited to be here building on the Moonbeam network, and very lucky to have a team like this around me.
That's amazing, guys, and it's very, very good to see like a team that is so robust and has a lot of experience, especially building those games in Moonbeam. And having the Moonbeam ecosystem, with more games and NFT projects and so on, is just beyond excitement. And in my personal opinion, you guys are one of the best in there, because the tool is great, the game is great, a lot of hype and a lot of graphics, good graphics as well. So I really like that. Now, I see that we have some questions in the chat, and if you guys have some questions, you can put in ask a question. But one of the questions that I saw here is, Ben, what do you have in the bottle? Some people are saying that it's moon juice, some booster.
Yeah, this is booster. This is an alpha demo we're testing out for pilots. All right. My focus is definitely improved.
Yeah. So if you guys have any questions, you can put on this ask a question box. And at the end, we're going to have a trivia game as well. And we're going to have some surprise for you. So make sure to stick to the end, because you guys are going to be at least excited or boosted, let's say.
Absolutely.
So maybe we can go ahead and talk a little bit more about the project. There's some people over here that is living in a bubble and never heard of Exiled Racers. I don't know how, but they are. So maybe we start with a quick introduction, and you guys can talk a little bit more about the project, and we can go from there.
Yeah, absolutely. And this is something I'll be happy to chat about. So for those of you that don't know, EXR is considered, I guess, the first 3D Bluechip NFT art project on Moonbeam, which we're really excited about, with an added bonus community-driven racing manager game that we're building on Moonbeam. We were very early in terms of working with Moonbeam. We spoke to the Moonbeam Foundation, months before they launched, and we're very excited because we were looking for a platform that made gaming on Web3, realistic, because it's not always the case, right? Because there's a lot of challenges you get to face. So very lucky there. We took an approach of really focusing on the high fidelity 3D NFT art, which is what we consider something that hasn't really been seen in the space to the level that our art team is doing it, which is Luke, Sanju, and Nils from the Istudi creative team. They've worked on some of the most recognizable global brands such as Nike, Samsung, Apple. They've done crazy work, and if you follow us on Twitter, you'll see we've shown some of the work they've done. So we actually put together a blog from them that explains the art and science of high fidelity art design for NFTs. So do recommend you check that out if you're following us on Medium. Like I said, we have this bonus community driven racing manager, which is something that's a nice utility for our NFT holders of the artwork, that utilizes attributes of your NFT, right? So the bonus game is designed to be low touch, high reward, with a focus on a newly coined term we're focused on, which is like play to enjoy. Revolutionary, I know, but we've tried to make sure that we can build this game sustainably versus relying too much on a white paper that tells you how your earning mechanism is going to work. We're just not that bullish on that right now. We're gonna build a game that our community enjoys, and we're gonna test it out as we get there. So that's what we're doing. It's designed for individuals that love NFTs, used to be gamers, don't have time, miss the community. That's it. We're building this low touch, high reward game mechanic that allows you to be involved with the community, experience your NFTs in a new way, and then obviously get this bonus of a fun community-based driven game. So I guess the way I can explain the game, it's a racing manager, much like any fantasy football, fantasy app team game where you get to pick a select set of players, and you watch the race outcome, or you watch the game outcome, and you get points for it. So we're building something similar to that. That's part of the low touch mechanic that we're building. Basically, you get to what we're calling your race stacks. You pick your race stack, you stake it into a game. Your race stack has different attributes, and it'll change the performance based on the racetrack you're on and the individuals you're up against. And Tiago, you've played this before, right? It's very simple, right? It's like pick your stack, check the racetrack, watch the result, right? It's an algorithmic based result where it tracks the attributes of your races. And like I said, well, like Sumit said, he was actually the developer of the FICO credit score algorithm here in the US, which is used by millions and millions of people. So we're very lucky to have Sumit building this stuff for us. It's really fun. We're also going to be building the first near gasless NFT mint, which we talked about with the Barconomy team. which is really exciting. We spent a lot of time thinking about how we make sure the user experience with us is seamless and simple, and everyone can get on board without too much headache, right? Especially as we're starting to think about, we have a lot of friends that aren't in Web3, and I'm sure all of you do as well. And there's a lot of confusion for them, and like the barrier to entry because of gas fees is insane. So we're trying to like lower that barrier for our friends, basically allowing them to come into Web3 seamlessly and experience what we love about Web3, right? The game's going to have rewards. It's going to have all kinds of rewards, whether that's experience points, in-game, off-chain currency, leaderboard prizes, drops. We're still testing a whole bunch of really exciting stuff, and that's part of the benefit of doing things the way we're doing it and not tying ourselves to a play-to-earn mechanic where you're almost forced to run the economy in a certain way. And I'm sure you guys have seen how difficult it becomes to run a proper economy without failing the system, because you made an idea that you stuck into a white paper and you were held to it. So we're trying to make ourselves a lot more flexible to allow for, honestly, the play-to-enjoy game that's bonus to it, which we're really excited about. Anything else I've missed there, Sumit? We have got some alpha that I can drop in right now. This is all obviously unconfirmed, and I don't want to drop too much here because we're coming up to mint. But basically, we're in the process of working on an integration with a really exciting .sama partner, which could turn Exiled Racer into something not really seen before. And we hope it works out, TBD. But I'll give you a hint. Imagine NFT-based fantasy sports and racing gaming with decentralized prediction market integrations layered on top. I'll leave it there, and I'll let you sync on that, Tiago.
Yeah.
Is this me?
No, it's good. It's good now.
Well, that's how surprised I was, I guess.
Yeah.
So that would be awesome. I'll tell you.
TBD though, guys. TBD. I'm doing my best. If you know Web3, nothing is set in stone. But we're builders here, man. We're just trying to make things happen.
I personally like that. That approach, play to enjoy. Because the truth is, a lot of people is doing new games, and there's a lot of hype involved. And when they do this play to earn, and all the mechanisms, and you get stuck into a white paper, and the truth is, like, people like to play. They like to earn, but sometimes mixing those things together, like in a very restricted way, like you're not playing anymore. You're trying to earn, right? And you start losing a little bit of the passion of just playing for playing, for enjoying.
Exactly.
I guess this is a very good approach, in my opinion.
Yeah, sorry, I think I fixed my microphone. That was me. If anyone's ears got blown up there, but yeah, and like Ben and I, we've been friends for a long time, and we started the game. A lot of the talk was around, like we used to play a ton of games when we were younger, and you had time to do that. Now with all how busy everybody is, it's really hard to find that time. And so we still like the banter, the community. Like we both played football together, not American football, soccer, but and so like, after we would play, we would just like joke around about the idea of making a game or something like that. And that's kind of where the genesis of a lot of this came out, was that we wanted to have this low touch, high rewards mechanism, but then also it was less about like you being like some master at gaming and more about you having fun with the community and enjoying the banter, bragging with your friends, and the prediction market kind of plays into that, right? In terms of being able to not only, see your NFTs racing and things like that, but also then to kind of, figure out who's going to win. Right.
Yeah, this is key, man. This is key because, I mean, the amount of times I've looked at a game and I've gone, fuck, I'd love to play that. Excuse my language. And you go through it like, this is too complex. I just don't have time in the day. But, all my homies are playing this. I'm just going to miss out on this one again, right? I just wanted to kind of allow a game that's different in that sense. Like, I know Tiago's playing. I know Sumit's playing. It's very simple. I go in. I enter the racetrack, we're done for the week or whatever it is, right? We're going to work on a few game mechanics, which we're going to walk through later, but that's where we're heading to.
Yeah, as more as I digest the play to enjoy, slogan, it makes even more sense, every time that I think about, because it's exactly that, like every play to earn game that I played, I start to lose interest because I have the earning part. It's become to be a work. It's not the play anymore. It's not enjoyable.
Mhm.
And focusing on the game itself, you guys are definitely on the right track.
Yeah, exactly. You lose the focus, right? Like you come in trying to play a game, and then all of a sudden now you're concerned about the coin price and how much you're earning and how much you can trade, and now it becomes less about having fun and enjoying it and more about how much I can earn, right? So
Yeah, and I mean the price of the NFTs and so on, it's going to be a consequence of the people enjoying to play, right? Of the community, of the engagement, of the excitement. And I think this is the tokenomics is how enjoyable the game is, right?
Yeah, look, I mean, we can't speak to pricing and whatnot of NFTs, but we can speak to, if you build value in anything, in any community, the value will come out wherever you look, right? And that's what we want to build, right? I can't speak to what will happen. We're going to do our best to make this thing really fun and really cool. And, luckily we have people like Craig, Samit, Sanju, Niels, Luke on top of this, because, these guys are creative people. Honestly, I'm very lucky to work with these guys, and I'm excited for you guys to experience the ideas that they've conceptualized coming up to this point.
Yeah. So we have several questions already in the chat.
Mm-hmm.
And people ask about your beer as well. Who is streaming because it looks nice? Definitely not mine because I don't have one. So there's several good questions in here, but I guess the overall scheme of things that people want to know about minting, about airdropping, about road mapping, and all this stuff. I guess you guys are going to touch base on all those aspects. So maybe we're going to hold on to those questions.
Yeah.
And we can go through, right?
All will be revealed. We're going to be doing a live drop of a Medium post that should blow your minds in a bit, via Twitter and on Medium. So give us a sec. Let's let Tiago ask a few more questions in his doc, and then we'll move on to some of the exciting reveals and demos and whatnot.
All right. So one of the questions is, how did you guys come up with the name of Exiled Racers?
So this is a fun one. Samit and Craig and I were thinking about how we integrate NFTs and fantasy betting, I assume is what we'd say here, into the world. And we've all been massive fans of racing games. You name them, we've been playing them, right? And I've always had the idea of putting some NFT together that was in that sense. And I had a bunch of ideas around how, because I read a lot of fantasy, I spend a lot of time on that in that world. I've always had this idea of like writing my own book, and I didn't ever get to it, but creating a game form of what I had in mind is what it came to, right? Where this world of, and I can speak to the law if you'd like, I don't want to take too much time. For some people, the law is boring, but the idea was that, there's all these different worlds, and there's kind of like these three classes, right? And it's serfs, orgs, and mercs, and they live in this universe, different planetary environments. And you have the serfs that are, these hardworking machines that they have to do things. They've been programmed to mine coal, ship stuff across the universe and whatnot. And then you've got the orgs, who are these half beings, who, as a result of mercs, who are these military types who are taking over, planets to try and mine them with the serfs, they destroyed entire human populations. And, this, I guess, notorious enemy called Harumi Corp, offered these humans that were destroyed a second chance at life by giving them an augmented version of themselves that made them, powerful and strong. And, over time, these three, I guess, factions, we call them, had this realization that the world that they were living in and were forced to live in was terrible. And they decided, and we coined the concepts of the exile, that they were going to rebel from this world and say, take a hike, Harumi. We've got our own way of living, and we're done here, and we're going to set up our own economy, which is in the races, right? So it's a long vision I've had for a long time, and it eventually came to life in an NFT game, which is nice. I didn't have to write a book. I could actually create a game with my homies.
Oh my God, that was deep. I mean, it was a very thoughtful process. That's amazing.
Yeah, so it was nice.
Yeah, the original name was Crypto Space Racers.
And
right.
We can actually show some early demos of the visuals for Crypto Space Racers, but we changed that because of the concept.
Yeah, because it's one of those things where we're just like, okay, like this, once we started coming up with the concept, like this is much bigger than just kind of like a simple, thing where it's just around crypto or something. We wanted to build a larger world around the whole Exile idea. And so it made more sense to change the name. This is obviously very early on, like, well before we even released anything. So
yeah. No, and I really prefer Exiled Racers. It's and like you said, he's very thoughtful of it. There's a lot of process behind. It's very robust. There's a lot of the story that you guys can explore in the near future, right? Because I think that's the goal. You have like you create the universe, right? And then now you can explore all of this in the near future with other things. There are some questions about the game itself. Would you guys like me to ask right away, or you guys going to present maybe after the demo where we can ask those questions again?
I think that's best. Let's get the demo going, and then Sumit can talk. I've actually got a section dedicated to Sumit going into the details of the game itself.
Right. Do you want me to show the demo, or do you want me
to? I think what we'll move on to is I think one of the questions you have for us, Tiago, is like, why did we decide to build on Moonbeam? And I think I touched on that. We were really trying to find a platform that supported us in the vision we had here, and trying to move a bunch of, our friends and Web 2 people. We already know Web 3 people will come to these types of things, but what we really wanted is like, we have a bunch of friends that we always, involved with in a community. We wanted to bring them over. So we needed a simple way to do that. And, Moonbeam just makes things so much easier for us. And that's why we decided. Plus the team building on Moonbeam has been, supremely supportive of us as a team, which is amazing.
Yeah, that's cool. And I'm really happy to see you guys in Moonbeam. Like we have all the parent chains as well. They're doing a great job. But the truth is, Moonbeam is, I'm biased a little bit maybe, but I believe the community in Moonbeam is very intensive. Like we can be very intense, and we can make things move forward. Like a lot of people, very diverse from all over the place, all over the world. And it's like you said, the Moonbeam team itself definitely helps a lot, to move these things forward. So we are definitely glad to have you guys with us, for sure.
No, we're happy to be here. And I think I'm getting enough pings to tell me to stop talking and get a demo going, that I'm actually going to get me to go through the demos and walkthroughs we've got going. And then after that, I'll go through and drop the Mint blog post, and we can go through some of the Mint details, which are coming up for the end of the month.
Will do.
Drum roll, please.
Drum rolling. Let me share my screen. This is like hot off the presses.
So what are we showing first, Sumit? Let's give a bit of a backdrop. Yeah,
we're not gonna do a live demo of the game right now, unfortunately, guys. But we cut up a bunch of live video feeds from the different races that we've been cutting. We've run an alpha since, I want to say, February or March timeline. We've run over 10,000 races with people in the alpha. We're getting a ton of feedback, and we're in the process of finalizing all the final versions of the game, as well as different types of races. So think like one-on-one versus multiplayer versus tournament mode versus, maybe you want to race everybody in your DAO, maybe you want to race everybody in your club, whatever it is. We're finishing off all that functionality. And so we just took a bunch of different clips together, because otherwise, nobody wants to see me scroll around a website. So I'm going to share a video with you guys of some of the gameplay, so you can actually see some of the video of the racers themselves, which is brand new. I think Tiago, I saw a little sneak peek before we got on a little bit. I wasn't supposed to show him, but that, as well as a little bit of the website. And let me share my screen. All right. I think you can see it.
Yep.
Here we go. Drum roll. All right.
There it is. Hold on, Sumit. I think I hear something real quick. Let me just check this out real quick. You can talk amongst yourselves, guys. Give me a sec.
Let's see. Where did he go?
All right. I got it, guys. You're not going to believe this. I just sent you something, Sumit. You wanna show it?
Sure.
Someone just literally landed on my roof a second ago.
You open it up. What is this? Oh shit!
Cannot believe it. A local exile that just landed on my roof.
Holy cow! How you guys did that?
I mean, he's here. You can chat to him. He might have gone though.
Oh, is that the engine moving? It's pretty cool.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
Yeah, that was a rare occasion, but I mean, he's there.
Much better than Tesla, right?
Dude, Elon wouldn't allow me to launch this.
That is amazing. That you guys put a lot of work into it. And I remember when I did the test in the past, like was one racer guy was all black, right? And I saw this golden helmet with their.
You've got to start somewhere, right? So we're very lucky. Like I said, the Isturi image team, Luke, Sanju, Nil are like absolute kings of this stuff. So we're very grateful. A
lot of what you guys saw there is kind of takes the same notion of what everyone is kind of doing in kind of the NFT space, where everything is kind of procedurally created, right? So the planet you saw rotating around is procedurally created. Like we didn't buy an asset or something, right? We created that planet. The clouds, the planet moves. The way everything is done is all done using an algorithm, right? The way the racers move is done using an algorithm as well, right? So I think there were some questions in the chat around like how people move, right? Like, is it just random probability? Is it a coin flip? And that's just not the case, right? So every single one of your NFTs, like I think there was like a small clip in the video, comes with attributes like speed, handling, focus, strength, stamina, a number of different attributes, right? And those attributes help your racer move along the path, right? And so if you're on a turn, handling is more important. If you're on a straight, speed is more important, right? And so you're given the ability to move forward, and as the race goes on, you lose stamina, you get a little slower, right? Maybe you're not as fast, right? And so everybody has a chance to win, right? And that's like the biggest thing, is that we wanted to introduce some level of probability. So let's say you go up and you're racing somebody who has like the best stack ever, right? And you have like a complete crappy stack. Like it doesn't mean you're going to lose, right? We're trying to build a game where there's still some level of randomness to it and you have ability to win. But if you do have more attribute levels, if you have better boosters, things like that, that it does help you impact the game as well as win it as well. And so, I think there's something, just making sure that everyone knows that we're building the game not with just like stock stuff. It's all procedurally generated, everything from the lighting to everything in the game itself, along with the racecrafts and the pilots and everything themselves, which are all procedurally generated as well, right? So,
all right. So it's like if I have if we're doing a race between ourselves, we're not going to have the same result all the time, right? There's some randomness, even though we're using the same cars, the same spaceships, and same racers, boosters, etc.
Yeah,
there's going to be different results.
Yeah, like for example, like maybe if you have the best, your best versus worst, maybe you win 7 out of 10 times, but there's 3 out of 10 chance, because of the way we've built the algorithm, that the underdog can still win, right? And so that way, there's still a bit of fun there around that allows you to win, as well as strive to get better, right? To get more boosters and to get better spacecrafts or pilots that can drive those spacecrafts, right? So,
and that's assuming that you have the same consistent racetrack, right? Remember, guys, that the idea is that you pick your stack dependent on the racetrack you're going on to, right? So each of your NFTs have specific attributes, but also the racetrack has attributes, right? Like straights, turns, all that sort of stuff. So in one particular racetrack, you might look like a king lord. The reality is, the next track, you might not have as good a chance because of the racetrack you have or the race selections you're able to do in that racetrack, right? So we've tried to keep it kind of fair and fun like that, right? Where, you've got a bit of a change up every now and then.
Yeah, and certain tracks might be longer than others. So if you don't have the stamina, your pilot is running out of stamina, then maybe you're on lap 5 or 6, and all of a sudden you start slowing down, or you're not turning as well, or whatever it is. And so we wanted to make sure that the algorithm made sense logically as well with what your attributes are. So it wasn't just like random. We didn't just throw it in like a machine learning algorithm and be like, oh yeah, like come up with the best model. We wanted to make sure that the model made sense from a logical standpoint. So
yeah.
And is there a number of racetracks there's a target, or you guys like planning to launch more and more as we go?
I mean, that's also another procedurally generated thing. We built an auto-generated track system as well. So we've got thousands of tracks that can be created. So you won't be able to select right now from thousands of tracks, but potentially that's something that we open up. But you will be given tracks so that it's somewhat fair. Like for a tournament, obviously everyone's going to race on the same track. You're not going to have everyone race on different tracks because that's not fair, right? So,
right. And what are the most important attributes from the pilots or the ships? Like what are we looking for?
Yeah, I mean, I think they all are weighted somewhat equally so that it's not like you're getting like one thing or the other. But obviously, like for a pilot, focus is really important. What focus does is it allows you to shrink the level of probability down, right? So like the level of randomness goes down the more you can focus, right? So that means that like you're going to hit a certain place, but as your focus decreases, that means that the probability of you moving a certain speed goes differently. And on a ship, I would probably say, depending on the track, right? Like Ben was saying, right? Like if the track is super turns or a lot of straights, and depends on which track you have, right? So it's important to have, ideally, if you had more than 1 or 2 racers, you can choose the best stack that matches the track that's coming up.
Yeah, and we've also got boosters, Tiago, that if you see a particular track, the idea that this does become skills-based, right? Where if you have a bunch of boosters in your stack, you can be like, okay, I've only got these races, these pilots, but I'm going to boost this, and this, or like whatever, right? So that's how we wanted to make it kind of skills-based, right? Yeah. And again, this is all, it all comes down, Tiago, to simple gaming, right? I don't want to have to rely on you to become a fully proficient gamer to be able to enjoy this game. It should be quite simple for you to just go, okay, this is my race stack. These are the things that I have. This racetrack's fun. Looks like I got a good chance here. I'm in, right? Versus, oh my God, I got to study 65 different attributes. I need to learn how to breed. And, we're just trying to keep it simple here so you can enjoy the bonus utility of your NFT, right? Reality, we're creating beautiful NFT art here, and we're allowing that art to be used in a fun way.
No, it makes sense. It makes totally sense. There are several questions about roadmap and what's the next step. I think you guys are going to introduce that, but there's a very interesting question right here. There's a guy called Abas. She said that he lives in an apartment, so where he will park his spaceship. People are giving some suggestions that he can live in a spaceship, and
Abbas, you should park it on the roof like what we just saw, right?
Yeah. Then I don't think nobody will complain about it.
Someone is asking how we breed cards to meet. I think we're going to have a community vote on how we breed cards because I have no idea. Could get messy. Yeah.
I think a lot of that, that we're going to leave to the community as well, and making sure that everyone has a voice in what we're doing with the roadmap as well, right? So
yeah. And in terms of roadmap right now, Tiago, as I said when I first introduced you to the company, to the ideas, like we're building a beautiful NFT art project here, right? That's Bluechip, dedicated to the community. And the bonus of this game is that you get to play with your NFTs in a fun way. And we're going to be testing the games out as we go along, right? Which is why you're in our alpha. You've played the games that we've got there, but we've got a bunch of other ones that we're working on right now that will eventually allow everyone to be able to test, right? We want to get this thing out in a fun way, but in a successful way as well, right? We've all got, a lot of us have product development backgrounds where we've worked in Web 2, normie jobs, launching things. And we want to make sure we take some of that Web 2 normie skill set and bring it over to Web 3 so that we can launch things in a successful way and, keep things fun and engaging without being too stricken by, sometimes these roadmaps are just, they kill the project because everyone expects a certain way and things sometimes just don't work out or they're not fun, which I've seen a lot of times. is the case. But yeah, that's why we have an alpha group, so we can give people early access to the stuff. If it works, and then we launch it, right? So that's how we're working.
All right. Yeah, makes sense. There's so many questions. There's like 26 questions. Do you guys want to present something else or talk about anything else?
You need to talk about the mint stuff, right?
Yeah. So, we can drop the mint now, or we can take a few questions now and drop the mint at the end and then drop the mic kind of thing, right? Let people sit on it. It's up to you, Tiago.
Yeah, no, let's do that. Let me see some questions in here. And guys, if you are seeing the questions and you want to answer, because maybe you already answered in the chat, feel free to just reply, just text up there. Let me see here. Well, there's a lot of questions about the minting for sure.
Mm-hmm. That's coming.
So there's when is the beta test, and will there are criteria to participate?
Right now we have an alpha group. We have an alpha group that we're working on. We will slowly but surely be opening that up as we start to push some of the stuff Sumit has shown today. But it's going to be very controlled. We do have quite a few alphas testing right now, and right now the focus for us is on the mint and making sure that it's a successful, NFT art project that we've had the vision for. And then from then we'll start expanding the alpha stuff and beta.
All right. And there's a question about, will you have your own marketplace in the future? I assume yes, right?
Yes. I mean, right now we're focused purely on what we want to do here, which is an NFT project with a bonus utility. So we're focused on that. We've actually partnered with the Moonbeams team, moonbeams.io, which is launched on Moonbeam, which we're very happy with. And that actually brings us to something that really exciting. Maybe a week or two ago, we launched a private auction, or an auction that allowed the community to get involved with getting an Exiled, which is a 2% rarity of our total population racer or pilot, sorry. And the first one in the private auction went for 7,000 glimmer, and the next two, which are on auction there right now, are sitting at around a 10,000 glimmer bid right now. So it's really exciting. But yeah, in terms of long term, maybe we'll have a marketplace, but right now we're focusing on what we're good at, right? Which is NFT art development and the bonus game that Sumit's working on.
Yeah, it makes sense. And I love Moonbeams as well.
Yeah,
Miami's amazing. He's really helpful.
Yeah, I mean, I have no reason to build a marketplace when I've got those legends working with me. You know what I mean?
I agree. Somebody asked about Remark. So I don't think you guys are using Remark, right? You're just ERC 721.
Not right now. We actually did pitch back in the day to the Remark team, but they hadn't got the EVM stuff, integrated just yet. So, we were looking around early, and there's still opportunities in the future. We're actually talking to the Remark team right now, and who knows? We've just got to get through this period. As you know, when you're launching stuff, you've got a lot of pressing matters to work on. So yeah.
Yeah, in Remark is a definitely cutting edge technology when it comes to NFTs. But as you said, there's no reason why you guys couldn't migrate, or like doing some work or some updates in the near future. Who knows? Whenever Remark is more robust, let's say, and have more as a mass adoption.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah.
I mean, the other thing to just think about and consider, I think we kind of take for granted how, we haven't even launched the first NFT collection, and we're sort of talking about, what the next steps are, and sort of what's coming in the future. And I think someone asked the question earlier, in terms of like what's next, or racing. I think they asked about racing the races like Mario Kart. And I mean, the truth is that we've got so many ideas and so many plans, but if you take a little bit of time and actually look at the quality of the artwork, I mean, I think the thing to remember is that we're not launching one NFT collection, we're launching 3 NFT collections, each of which, I mean, in my opinion, has some of the highest quality art you'll see. I mean, we've been working on this, there's a team of 6 of us. I mean, we've been working on this every day, day in and day out for, 6 to 8 months. So there's an enormous amount of work that's gone into it already. And, despite how much work that's been, I mean, this is really only the beginning. So we're spending this time and effort to build things right and make sure we create the best project that we can, because we want to give it longevity and set it up for success in the future. So we're really not cutting any corners, and we're focusing all our energy right now on getting the very first sort of NFT collection up and running. But we have a long list of really exciting things that we want to work on, and that we have planned for the future.
Yeah, and to be honest, that's the way to go. Like in the community, in the crypto community, there's a lot of excitement. People get anxious, and they want to see like everything changing in a couple of weeks. Like a month is too much. Like we are, like I don't know, like it's like those things. Like you see a project in 7 months old, sometimes it's considered old project. And people get very excited. But I completely agree that like to arrive where we are right now, where Exiled Racers are right now, there's a lot of efforts behind the scenes that has to occur in order to make that happen. And there's a lot of things in the roadmap, and all those things that we get excited of could be remark or whatever comes next. Who knows? This is just like potential layers that we can add to it, right? I mean, it's not like they're neglecting or getting behind. No, it's like whenever it's time to reach those things, just give time, and you guys will catch up, whatever, if there's a need to. But right now it's like top edge. I mean, this is one of the first it's the first, right, game project in Moonbeam.
I think I think there might be one or two others, but in terms of 3D high fidelity artwork, this is a first.
Yeah, with the quality that you guys are building, for sure, probably is one of the first in Polkadot, in .summer ecosystem, right? We don't have much games like this with that much efforts and investment that you guys put in, right?
Yeah, I mean, I can't speak to the entire community, but I can tell you that we're trying to build something different here, and we're going to do everything we can to make it exciting. But like Craig said, the biggest hurdle for us was creating incredible art, and that's huge for us, right? We didn't just create pilots; we create racecrafts, we create boosters. Those things. Every one of those NFTs times 3, as Craig said, we've got factions that each have their own design style, right? So it's been a huge effort to get here, and I think it's definitely worth, like you said, Tiago, you don't know where you're going until you know where you've been, and we're here now, and let's get focused on that and make sure that it comes to life in a beautiful way, right?
I also think it's important to note that we didn't just like sell a bunch of passes for a future game or something, right? Like we're not like selling a bunch of NFTs for something that may come out like, a year from now. Maybe it doesn't come out like some other projects. Like we're building a game that's going to be released fairly soon after you mint your items, right? So I think like in that sense that, we're trying to do things in a way that, in the right way, right? In terms of like, we want to make sure that we're doing it step by step. And that we're not overreaching when we're building, as well as when we're coming up with our concepts.
That's cool. And again, there's a lot of excitement in the chat. People are getting crazy, and that's really, really cool to see it. Maybe we can talk about
Tiago,
the mint.
I wanted, just before we get into the mint, I wanted to add one more point, which I think was a question that somebody asked that might come up. So maybe now's a good time to hit it off. Someone was asking about the tokenomics or the game economy. And I think one of the things we looked at early on when we were building this project was that, the play to earn, and Ben mentioned this, is that we're sort of focusing on the play to enjoy or play and enjoy. I think we're very conscious of the fact that the play to earn space is very early. And, we personally don't think several sort of the projects out there are going to survive the long term, because coming up with tokenomics that work really well, is just super complicated, and that's not our specialty. So we definitely decided at the outset to focus on the artwork and building the game. And we're certainly open to the idea of, introducing tokenomics and a token into the economy in the future. But we really wanted to focus on the things that we were good at, and, that we knew that we could do well and get those things right. And when we have a good product and we have a community that enjoys the experience, then we can sort of look into, the tokenomics and taking things to the next level.
Yeah, no, for sure. That's really cool. But I guess another question in this is not tokenomics, but it's a question that we have in here. Is like, is there a in-game currency to upgrade and buy the boosters? So how do you do that? What is the steps to get more boosters or and so on?
Yeah, so we've got a few ways that we're dealing with the games, and we're working out different reward mechanisms for the game. And as you know, Tiago, you do earn these in-game off-chain EXR coins. You also earn experience points, and we're working on different ways that you use those EXR coins in-game. In the web browser game, the WebGL game as well. So it allows you to do things like that, right? So we're finalizing a few things around reward mechanisms like that, but will you be able to buy upgrades and whatnot? It's not really going to work like that on the outset, right? We're working on different types of ways you can use your coins and access levels to different game types as well as, for example, expanding the number of tracks you get to race on, expanding space in your garage so you can have more decision-making points. Getting into certain race types, whether it's pink slips or DAO racing or 1v1, we're going to have little XP as well as coins needed to give you access to that world or those new worlds that we create. So we're allowing that mechanic to be there to allow us to experiment with what the future, like Craig said, if we do decide that we want to run a tokenomic type game economy, we have the mechanisms to allow us to test them out and make them work. But right now, they're very much just us, figuring things out in a cool way.
That's cool. That's really cool. All right, I guess we can talk about minting.
Yeah, so I'm going to do this live. Let me try and do this as we speak. Give me a second. Sumit, do you happen to have the Exiled racecrafts in the meantime while I pull this up? You can do a quick little. So basically, you can walk through. You can walk through it while I do the posting here, Sumit.
Let me just pull it up. If you haven't seen the actual artwork for the pilots, I kind of wanted to show those first as well. So these are the Exiled pilots that are on auction right now. If anybody wants to bid, go for it. It's on Moonbeams. There's a link in our Discord. And then we also have another leak here. And we have our Exiled Racecrafts. So these are, again, the Exiled is the group of racers in each faction that are kind of like the OGs, right? They're like the most rare of the rare. So here you go. I'll only play it one more time because that was fast.
I really like the yellow one. I have my favorite already.
This one over here. Where are we going? We're gonna go single. This one right here. This
yeah, one.
Okay.
Yeah.
So these are insane. When Luke first showed me these, I'm like, dude, what are you doing? Are you sleeping? How are you possibly spending? Because look at the material even. You can't really zoom in right now, but these things are insanely detailed, which is cool. Anyway, I'm about to post the mint details here. If there's typos, forgive me. I'm doing things live here. I'm posting it on our Twitter right now, so give us 2 seconds.
And like what you're seeing on your NFT racecraft is like what you're going to get in the game, right? It's not like you get some like weird prototype racer or something. Like it's fairly accurate with, not going to promise anything, but potential for you to bring that asset into other NFT places, right? Like if you wanted to use it in some other 3-dimensional world, right?
Yeah, exactly.
That's cool.
Exactly. So Sumit, I've just posted the mint details. If you want to pull up the blog and I can speak to it, just go through. So basically, what we're going to have is the mint happening end of month. We have spent a lot of time thinking about how this mint works in true EXR fashion. We're actually going to allow you to mint one key that actually gives you 2 bonus mint keys, which we are not going to tell you right away what they do. But for minting one key as part of the early Genesis minters, you're going to get 2 additional keys that, ultimately give you a full stack. I mean, I'm sure you can figure it out, but there's a lot we're going to be doing here in terms of bonuses for our Genesis minters. It's happening end of month. If you want to scroll down to the visual that I've got in there, Sumit, I'll let everyone read through this at their own time. So this one, basically the way it's going to work, if you mint, like I said, you're going to get these 2 bonus keys, and it's going to be these phases that you get to unlock your bonus NFT keys over time. So you burn one to get actual access to the NFT. You burn the other, you get actual access to the NFT. You ultimately end up with, confidentially, four NFTs. But it's something that we really wanted to focus on, rewarding our individuals that are getting involved in our first mint. So really exciting end of month. Like I said, we had a private pre-auction or an auction on the Moonbeam's site. Like I said, we've been doing some interesting stuff there, and I think now is the time where we give access to those that are been trying to get on the whitelist. We're going to be running a whitelist lottery. We're going to pick the winners closer towards the end of the month. You're going to be able to check if you've been whitelisted on our site and in our Discord. You will also, I think there's roughly a 20% chance, right, Sumit, of being a whitelist winner, but we're also going to have a private first. So all the whitelisters and whitelist winners will be able to mint first. They can mint up to 3 or 2. I think we decided on 2 because of the demand. In 48 hours, if those haven't minted out, we'll go to a pseudo public auction where anyone that is registered for the Exiled Racers whitelist lottery will be able to mint the remaining NFTs that may not have been minted. And that's the kind of the approach we have. We also want to make sure people are aware that anyone who's registered for the whitelist lottery right now, even if you don't win the whitelist lottery, we have a airdrop or a mint that we're doing for everyone that has registered that has utility in the game. We're calling it an EXR access pass. We can't say much more about what that NFT will do, but I did give a hint very early on in this call. So that's the hint I'll give you guys today. EXR, we try and keep things interesting out here. So I guess what I'm saying is, like, if you don't happen to win, everyone's going to be a winner if you've registered for the whitelist lottery, right?
Yeah, and just make sure that you guys get on the whitelist lottery before we, whatever, the last week before the mint date, because we will have to run a lottery at some point. It is an on-chain whitelist lottery. And so once that happens, if you sign up after that on-chain whitelist lottery, unfortunately, you're not going to be included in that lottery drop. But, that doesn't mean you may not be included in the public mint if there's availability after the fact.
That's cool. And I see Craig, someone is helping the chat and answering some questions about mint. But let's make sure that if you guys have any other questions about minting and anything about the project, make sure to go to their channels, to Discord and Twitter, and you can ask all those questions in there. And they will probably be able to answer. I know we had several questions in here. We're not going to be able to cover everything. Mm-hmm. But I think this is, just go to their Discord. They are pretty fast and quick to reply back to you. So definitely going to find more answers in there. And maybe Craigson or somebody could give you the link and put in the chat as well of the Discord.
It's in the chat now. Ideally, we share the Twitter post. Just selfishly, we'd love to make sure people are aware. Because not everyone's going to be joining this call, right? So let's share the Twitter post. I think that's probably going to be helpful for others that have missed this call, because it's hard to get time right for these type of AMAs, right? And hopefully this is recorded, we can share it out. But Yeah, so that's pretty much it. And we spent a lot of time on this blog post. So any question you can think of, we've probably answered it in thorough. So please do make sure you go through and take a look at it.
And if you do have a question, just go to our Discord and file a ticket.
Yeah.
Our moderators our amazing moderators are very quick at responding. And if it's not them, it's going to be one of us that's talking right now that's responding directly to you. So.
Yeah, exactly.
You guys have any final words or anything else that you'd like to comment or give to the community? There was a lot of mysterious things that you guys launched to the guys over here, so I'm sure everybody's excited, and we can see all the excitement in the chat. I was having a lot of fun just reading the chat, to be honest.
No, I'm really grateful for everyone that's come along with the journey, and appreciate the patience in how we do things here. Like, we're not just trying to drop and bail. This is a very thoughtful project. We've spent 8 months in thinking about everything, not just the NFTs, not just the game. It's how we launch, how we announce, how we talk about things, the blog posts we write, the videos we create. We tell stories. That's the key to our Exiled Racers brand, and it's slightly different to what people are used to in the space, I know, but we believe that in long term, it's a much better thing for the community.
Yeah, and you guys did a very good job, man. I have to be very honest. I was hyped since I participated since the alpha test, and the truth is there's a lot of work being done. All those game NFTs and crypto games that they try to launch, there's a lot of promises, maybe over promises, in other blockchains as well. Or there are games that is just not my thing, and having this very straightforward display to enjoy, like you guys said, is definitely something that could be the future. And who knows, like the benchmark for the future games as well. Why not?
Who knew? Right? Play to enjoy was a thing, but here we are doing it.
Here we are. Yeah.
Well, thank you so much, Tiago, and thank you to the Moonbeam team for having us.
Yeah, we're gonna have the trivia now. So
cool.
Yeah, Jimena, I think you can share your screen and I'll go through it. We drop in the chat the Kahoot Trivia, so maybe we wait a little bit more. There's a couple of comments in there. That's the game pin. So you go to kahoot.it and you put the game pin over there, which is the one in your screen. Please make sure to join it. We're going to start shortly. Jimena will do the count in about 10 seconds. Well, I'll do the count for Jimena. So in about 10 seconds, we're going to start. So make sure to join because we have some surprise afterwards. All right. Jimena, 3, 2, 1. I guess we're ready to go. All right, first question. You guys know how it works, right? What makes Exiled Racers the first Bluechip NFT Art Collection? So there are 4 potential answers over there. Make sure you choose, and you have to choose fast. Don't think too much because it's time-based as well to get your score. All right, so we have somebody in the leadership who knows. How do I say your name, man? J. Chal Man X. Which of these is not in the Exile Racers Bluechip NFT Art Collection? So we have boosters, pilots, racers, and racecrafts. I know all the answers. I wish I could play this and have some.
Will Smith on the memes. Hey, get ready. Dangerous.
Yeah, watch out. Watch out. It can be slapped. All right, next question. You can select more than one in this case. So what makes Exile Racers a game different from the others? We discussed that a lot in this call over here. So it's community-driven racing manager. The game is an algorithmic-based racing manager. It's the play to enjoy, and the rewards will vary from in-game points and leadership to NFT drops. Who's winning? Pratt's in first. have Yuri and Zitro. All right. 2 more questions. How many percentage does the Exile rank represents of the total XCR art collection? 2, 8, 13, 15. There are some tough questions in here. They have to be paying a lot of attention and be into the community to know. But hey, you guys want to be whitelisted, so you have to do your due diligence.
Damn, Prats is rapid.
Yes.
He's rapid.
Yeah, and it's not me, I promise. For a mint, how many bonus NFT items do you get for minting a pilot? And you see there is a trick question. So you have 0, 1, 2, and 3. We have more than 40 people participating. There's a lot of people that wants to be whitelisted, I guess. All right, so we have the podium. 3rd place, we have Zitro.
Let's go.
Zitro did a very good job in the first few questions. GW, and the winner is, I guess we know, Prats.
Let's go.
Congratulations, Prats.
Prats is part of Prats
we
is
have
the Alpha DAO. Yeah, they're
So-
such good, that's such a good group. I do recommend if you want to chat to deep Moonbeam lovers, you chat to that group, Prats and his gang. Really cool guys.
That's cool. That's cool. Hey, Jimeno will be getting in touch with you guys, and we will be getting in touch with Exile Racers as well, so we can discuss about the prize. And we'll be back shortly. So I would like to thank you all, the Exile Racers team and the crowd as well, to be here with me today. It was amazing chat. I really enjoyed, and it was very good to see like all the advancements that you guys did in just a couple of months since the alpha test. So I cannot wait what you guys can prepare for ourselves, for we in a couple of months from now.
Brilliant. Thank you for taking us on today. Appreciate it.
All right. Thanks, guys. Have a good one.
You too. Bye-bye.